I don't know who needs to hear this, but the investment was never the course, never the coaching, never the gym. The investment was always me. And the moment I understood that, everything changed. Coaching was never about reps. It was about revelation. People used to ask me what I do, and I'd say, I'm a coach, not a trainer, not a rep counter, a coach. Because from the beginning, I knew what I offered couldn't be measured in numbers, sets, or macros. I wasn't watching you lift. I was watching you become. Coaching for me was never about the external. It was about the cracks open inside you when you're seen. It's about the moment you stop pretending and start breathing with your whole chest. It's about what I feel in your silence, what I hear in your words. My job isn't to make you sweat. It's to make you see. Because transformation doesn't start in your body. It starts in your belief. I call it a spiritual because it is. Coaching to me is ritual. It's sacred. It's a conversation between souls. You talk, I listen. I speak, you reflect. And in that space between breath and breakthrough, transformation lives. But let's get something straight. This work requires both of us. You can't ghost yourself and expect a rebirth. You got to show up, not just in the gym or on the call, but in the truth. You have to be honest about where you're stuck, about what's hurting, about what you keep running from. Because I'm not here to just hand you a plan. I'm here to hold up a mirror and show you. I'm not in your life to give you answers. I'm here to ask you better questions. The kind of questions that stretch your identity, that shatter your excuses, that call your power forward. And if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready to have that kind of conversation, this isn't for you. Because the truth is, coaching done right is an initiation into self-responsibility, into deep listening, into radical self-honor. And I don't do surface level. I don't do check-ins where we pretend everything's fine. I do clients who want to, I don't do clients who just want to coach through their transformation. You want a coach who makes you feel good every week? I'm not your guy. You want a coach who makes you see yourself clearly? I'm exactly who you've been avoiding. Because when you step into my container, it's not just your routine that changes, it's your identity. And once that shifts, everything does. Chapter 2, the energy exchange and why I charge. Now, let's get something straight. What I do is expensive. Not because of ego, not because I need you to validate me, but because of energetics. Because real transformation, it's heavy. It takes time, it takes truth. It takes my entire presence. When I coach you, I'm not just clocking in. I'm breathing your pain. I feel your fear. I'm channeling your breakthrough before you can see it. And if you think that kind of weight doesn't have a cost, you've never been responsible for another person's resurrection. I've done free, I've done scholarships, and I'll be real. Some of the people who paid nothing gave everything. They showed up, they did the work, because they understood the value of being seen. But most people, if there's no investment, there's no initiation. Luke 12:34. says it clearly. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That's not just about heaven. It's about alignment. What you give your money to is what you honor. And if you won't invest in yourself, don't expect transformation to find you. You can't manifest what you're not willing to meet halfway. You can't hold a frequency you refuse to fund. This isn't just coaching, it's an energetic exchange. Your investment pulls the future version of you forward. My price isn't about the time it takes, it's about the identity it requires. Because here's the truth, you don't value what's free. You value what costs you something. Because what costs you something forces you to show up differently. So you're looking for a coach who will discount their presence, who will shrink themselves to make you feel better, who will ignore the misalignment just to keep your invoice paid. That's not me. I don't do discounts on transformation. I don't do half-hearted containers. I pour too much of my soul into this work to pretend it's casual. And if you want the full version of me, you gotta bring the full version of you. I never saw myself past 35 until I saw my chart. It's chapter 3. I never made plans for the future because I never believed I had one. And that wasn't some late night trauma-fueled revelation or realization or whatever. I said it when I was a kid. I remember being like 9 or 10. Standing in the kitchen with my mom, and I told her, I don't think I'm gonna live a long life. Not dramatically, not for attention, just truthfully. She looked at me, heartbroken, but she knew. She knew when I said something like that, it meant something. She didn't argue. She just nodded and said, well, we'll see. And so I lived with that belief for decades. That I wouldn't make it past 35. So I didn't build for later. I didn't dream past survival. I moved like a man with nothing to lose because my mind, I didn't. I built strength without sustainability, power without planning, and every step forward was powerful but temporary because I couldn't visualize a later that included me. Until I saw my chart. I remember pulling it up for the first time and feeling like I was staring at a sacred contract I'd forgotten I had signed. All the chaos, all the control, all the deep, invisible weight I carried. It was all there. Scorpio rising. I don't just go deep, I am depth. My presence alone carries intensity. I feel what others won't say. I see what others deny. This is why I've always been tuned into pain, my own and other people's. This is why people cry in front of me without knowing why. It's not because I try to break them open. It's because I carry permission for the truth. Sagittarius sun, the philosopher, the preacher, the fire behind the purpose. I've always wanted to understand more, be more, teach more. It's why I could never settle for surface level coaching. I wasn't here to pass along routines. I was here to ignite revolutions. But it wasn't fire for the sake of heat. Saturn sitting right beside my sun made sure of that. Saturn is heavy. It's heavy hand on mastery, the karmic gatekeeper. And in my chart it said, you want to lead, you must first be forged. So my identity wasn't gifted, it was built. Brick by brick, scar by scar. My confidence didn't come from affirmation. It came from initiation. And then there's Venus, also in Sagittarius, also in the first house. She reminded me of something I had forgotten, that I am the brand, that beauty isn't about image, it's about alignment. That value lives in presence, in embodiment, in resonance. My Venus said, you are magnetic when you are unapologetically you. That unlocked everything. My chart didn't save me. It revealed me. It showed me that path I was walking wasn't random. It was written. And all the things I'd once seen as flaws, they were features, markers, lessons, codes. I didn't see myself past 35. That version of me that could live past 35 hadn't been initiated yet. I hadn't become him yet. Now I have. Now I know how to build. Now I know how to stay. Now I know how that little boy who didn't think he'd make it wasn't wrong. He just hadn't met the man who could. Chapter 4, spiritually, strategy, and service. My spirituality ain't light and fluffy. It's not white robes and whispering sage prayers into the wind. It's real, it's raw, it's rugged. I've prayed in temples. I've meditated in mosques. I've screamed at the gym floors. And yes, I found God in the squat racks, in chalk-dusted silence between sets, in the sacred stillness between resistance and release. See, I wasn't born into one path. I walked many. My spirituality is layered, like me. Equal parts warrior and mystic. I don't just talk about balance. I live at the intersection of sacred and the strategic. And that's where my birth chart became more than a map. It became a compass. It didn't just align me to planets. It aligned me to people. It showed me that women in their 30s who've been forgotten, the ones who used to be everything to everyone and now can't even recognize herself in the mirror. It showed me high performers who spiritually starving, crushing goals, posting numbers, but numb inside because he doesn't know how to receive, doesn't know how to feel. It showed me the man who never met his own rage and calls it discipline, the one who follows every rule, crushes every metric, but still feels like he's not enough. I speak to them. I serve them. That is why my content hits even when they don't want it to. While some, which in silence, just watch me. While some unfollow, while some come back, because what I say doesn't entertain, it awakens. An awakening is inconvenient when you're not ready to see it yourself. But this right here isn't about astrology. This is about alignment. Alignment with your values, with your soul, with your assignment. Astrology is just one of the tools I use to do what I was born to do. Facilitate clarity, initiate growth, guide transformation. While spirituality informs my strategy protects my energy, and my energy fuels my service. I've spent years building offers to transform lives, from peak performers and helping peak performers systems to powerful supplement lines, from programs that help powerlifters crush PRs to protocols that help mothers rebuild their bodies and reclaim their power. But no matter the niche, the funnel, or the framework, my mission was always the same. Wake people up to their own capacity. Because when your life is aligned with your chart, your values, your divine wiring, you stop chasing. You start attracting. You stop coping. You start creating. This isn't just coaching service. This is an alchemical chemical service, its legacy. Chapter 5. This is not a brand. This is a life's work. I gotta get these tears out of my eyes. Whew. Back in high school, the teachers and the ladies in the front office used to say, that boy, he gonna make a lot of money one day. They said after I'd pitch some idea out loud, or some system or some framework, some solution to a problem that hadn't been named yet. I just laugh, smile, and give the idea away for free. I wasn't chasing credit. I wasn't chasing cash. I was just wired to solve, to build, to help things move better. I used to tell people, jokingly, but not really, my name is a stock tip. I might not fit in, but I knew my value. And now, all these years later, that value hasn't changed. It's just grown deeper, sharper, clearer. I built peak performance programs. I built alignment. I built supplement lines that are aligned with biology and belief. I coach men into discipline, women into self-trust, leaders into clarity. I've written systems that companies use and never credit. I've spoken truth that people weren't ready for, and then came back to years later, or a year later, whatever. But the flagship offer, the investment, the yields with the highest returns, it's me. I am the brand. Not the font, not the funnel, me. My presence, my principles, my energy, my voice. This is not branding. This is a body of work, a life's work, built from sweat, from silence, from psychic bruises and spiritual breakthroughs. And no, I'm not for everyone. I never tried to be. I'm not for the passive, not for the performative, not for the ones who want breakthrough without confrontation. I'm here for the ones who feel it, who hear the message and can't unhear it, who read the words and feel them in their body, who come back to my page, to the story, to the mirror again and again. Not because they like the vibe, but because they know something is being asked of them. And if you're still here, that something is being asked of you. You don't have to believe in astrology. You don't have to believe in me. But if you believe there's something in you that's meant to be more, this message was coded for you. The path isn't easy. The work isn't cheap. The mirror doesn't lie. But if you're ready to rise, and I mean truly rise, I've already made space for you. So, come find the version of you that's been waiting to be chosen. Not by me, not by the market, but by you. This is your moment. Don't miss the portal. That was a tough one. But hey, if this resonated with you, comment, leave a like, follow me. If you need to talk, you want to get in touch with me, send me a DM, comment below. You send me a DM on Instagram, TikTok, whatever things you want. And let's see if we can get you on the path to alignment. In the meantime, take care, be blessed. Coach loves you if nobody else do.